James Hacker. Do you think that in this day and age that Scientology helps or hinders a celebrity's ability to find work? I cannot think of anything that celebrities such as Kirstie Alley or Ann Archer have done in the past decade, at least nothing notable. This includes the likes of Marisol Nichols, Giovanni Ribisi, etc. Dan Masterson has been notable as of late, but it's certainly not for his roles or talent. Hey, thanks for the question, James. My honest opinion of this is that I don't think at this point Scientology plays a factor in somebody getting jobs in Hollywood, pro or con. I don't think Scientology really has any pull or influence, and I think that the influence they did have was over exaggerated, even even in its heyday. However, that's the church's influence. I am not necessarily referring to Tom Cruise's influence. He, as an individual, has gone way out of his way to let other Scientologists know that they are on, being watched, and they better represent Scientology, and they better be good, role models and all that kind of thing, and they better start talking about some Scientology. Well, we heard that story from Mark Headley some years ago. But since then, we also know why Tom Cruise had to whoa there on being so vigorously enthusiastic about it, and he had to shut the hell up. Other celebrities who are Scientologists clearly got the message from watching that happen or learning about it, and are not talking about Scientology. And it's very, very clear that they're only allowed statements on the matter are read a book, it's fine for me, you're a bigot if you attack my race, my religion. And that's about it. That's all they'll say about it. They're very, very hush-hush. You want to know about it, read a book. Well, that's nice and safe for them. And they don't have to answer any questions about it. And they don't have to deal with any, difficulties or unpleasantness about it. But I don't think behind the scenes it's really a factor. And to be honest with you, I really don't think it even should be. I mean, I've got my thing about Tom Cruise as an individual, but religious discrimination is never a good thing. And any more so than, racial discrimination or cultural discrimination, just only based on that. Here's your label. Now get out of here because you suck. At the end of the day, no human being really deserves to be treated that way, that simplistically. And, so, so I'm okay with that. I'm still not going to watch their movies. But we can see in the rising star of Elizabeth Moss that Scientology's not getting in the way of her career at all. Michael Pena still has a career. He's still doing fine. The thing I wanted to comment on with this question is I think Scientology destroys them as individuals. I think that's where their careers tank. Not because I don't think the career tanks because they're a Scientologist. I think they tank because they're Scientologists. Because being a long-term Scientologist is detrimental to your mental health. It just is. It's not my opinion that it's that way. I guess it could be an opinion, but it's we see it over and over and over again. I've lived it. I've experienced it. I've dealt with hundreds, thousands of people who have, said the same thing or some variation of that. So I think the reason why you see, people's careers sort of peak and then, in the world of Scientology is because they just kind of lose it. I don't mean they all go nuts. I'm not talking about insane asylum level insanity or something, but Scientology messes with you and it messes with your head in significant ways. I don't know how else to describe it simply. You got my whole channel to look at as to all the ways it does that. And I think that's what goes on with these guys. I mean, and Kirstie Alley is a great example because she's very active and vocal on Twitter. And you can see what goes on in her head and the sort of stream of consciousness Twitter feed that she's got sometimes. And it's a little loony, and not to mention the OSA Twitter accounts, the Ed Parkins and the Scientology stuff that they throw out. I mean, it's just, you read it, you just go, whoa. And that's the kind of stuff that goes on in Scientologists' heads all the time. So not a great place to be, not a very long-term stable place to be. There's a lot of things that are introduced into your thinking as a Scientologist that cause you to be narcissistic, paranoid, conspiracy-minded, You get a very bizarre view of the world as a Scientologist. And yeah, so that's what happens to the celebrities as much as it happens to any other public staff or Sea Org member Scientologist.